manner which is loving and compassionate and letting go of judgment and encouraging, appreciation and gratitude for each other, which of course is half the battle right there.
Right. Howard, I've done years of relationship work, and one of the things we included in that work is knowing, in a couple where each individual is from, including looking at their family trees, like looking at the history of families. Do you get into that in your work?
Well, what I do is I talk a little bit more metaphysically about it, not so much from the family, standpoint, but I will talk about the soul's journey. In other words, I'll talk a lot about this is where you came from, where your soul is evolving into, what you came into this lifetime with. This was what your mission is, or what you came here to learn. This is the residual piece of kind of unfinished business, and then these are the gifts you have to work with. And then you attracted this other person into your life because they're, helping you learn this, or they're showing you this, and they come from this kind of background. So there's what we call matching pictures. There's that element of people being triggers for each other, to help them get over that pattern, that triggering pattern, for example.
Wow. Well, that sounds very interesting, Howard. Now, these days, what people have on their minds, although not today and maybe tomorrow, but as soon as tomorrow is over, I think people will have their finances and their careers back on the burner. And all these subjects are very great concern today. So, as an astrologer and a career coach, how can you help people with their concerns of security and their dreams for the future?
That's a great question. Well, it's safe to say that each person's relationship to their finances and career is totally unique and different. And when I look at somebody's chart, I'm able to see their talents, their special gifts, their mission. In other words, what they're, not in very specific terms because they get to make that up. But from an energetic standpoint, from an archetypal standpoint, like if somebody has Pisces midheaven or Aries midheaven or something, I can see certain indicators in the chart that will describe to me where a person's most likely to go career-wise and where their patterns are financially. So I can see those things. And then by using transits, which is, the movement of planets in their present position put as an overlay on top of the natal birth chart, which is what astrologers always do. They overlay the transits as a bi-wheel or overlay wheel. They can see the timing aspects of what the person's likely to go through. And so once we get a handle on this and we're talking about all the different dimensions. We're talking about short-term finances. We're talking about long-term career goals and satisfaction and fulfillment and, all these different aspects. What I do is I slowly start to weave into the conversation elements from my career crafting program because, career development and career transition has been, the biggest focal point for me for over 25 years. And so I start bringing those principles and tools into the conversation, weaving them in a relevant way, so the person winds up leaving not only with all the astrological insights from their chart and the timing factors, but they get to actually take home with them concrete tools and practices and principles